Hello crafty friends, today I'm working in my art journal. I felt that I just wanted to relax and create something very intuitively. I don't really have a plan yet. Let's see how this goes. I'm starting with adding a little bit of collage with some Mod Podge. These are pieces of coffee stained pages from an old book, and as you can see I'm just ripping them up into little pieces and I'm actually applying them sideways. I do like the text to flow, even sometimes upside down. I just like the difference and the interest that it creates. There's no specific place that you can place these pieces. It's where you think you want to put them, where you feel they need to go. And I do try to balance between the left and right hand side of the journal so it isn't sort of heavy on the one side with too much collage. But it's really about using your scraps. I've got a lot of scrap pieces. You can see on the right hand side there's like a floral turquoise piece with a hole punched out of it, a circle punched out, which was from another project, so I'm using that. I've also got some tissue paper, just anything that you have, little pieces that'll just create the texture. If you'd like to learn more about texturing underneath your art journal pages and why I do it, and even though I'm covering it up with paint or gesso afterwards, I still put a lot of collaging underneath. I do have a video where I explain the details of that, where I actually create two pieces that are almost identical. The one I put collage underneath, the other one I don't, and I show you the difference. I will link that video in the description below so you can have a look for yourself and see the difference that collaging makes. I would love if you subscribed to my channel. Also hit the little bell so that you're notified every time I upload new content. Also watch out for my mini monthly giveaway. Every month in one of my videos, I give away the handmade items that I create in that video. It's open internationally. Once I've dried the Mod Podge, I'm going to now add gesso. I like to use my finger for this. I find it gives it a smoother finish, and also I just like to be able to work with the paint and manipulate it and let it go where I want it to go. You could always use a paintbrush or even a piece of cardboard, an old credit card, anything you like to create the look that you want. I like mine to have what I call a misty look, so I don't do a solid gesso color. I just make it darker in some areas or more opaque in some areas, and then I blend it out to be softer near the edges, and this gives it that misty look, which I really like. I do tend to cover most of the collaging with some gesso, not always totally. You can see the colors and the designs shining through, but I don't want the collage to be the focal point of the piece, so I tone it down with the gesso. The art journal that I'm using is an old hardcover book that I found in the op shop for $2. What I do is I stick together 3 pages at a time, and then I tear 3 pages between that so that it doesn't become too bulky or too chunky, and also by sticking the pages together it makes them firmer to be able to paint on and do the collaging and all the additional work that I do. If you'd like me to show you how I create an art journal book like this, let me know and I could create a video to show you how I prepare it. I'm now going to add some color. I've decided to go with some blues and I'm using watercolor for this. I get a lot of questions about the watercolor palette that I'm using. This was actually one that I just bought off AliExpress about 2 years ago. The brand on it was called ShanoukiArt. That's S-A-M-I Art. It was what I would call unbranded, really, because it comes from AliExpress, but it actually really works well. The colors are a little bit thin sometimes, but it does the job, and there's quite a big variety of colors which I like. I'm adding dabs of color in certain areas of the pages, and then I have my spray bottle with water and I spray that down and let the paint move and flow over the page. I tend to like to leave it to do its own thing and create its own patterns, and in some areas I'm just darkening the color to make it more intense. I'm trying not to overthink it or overwork it. I just add the color where I feel it needs to go and just let it be intuitive and fun and relaxing. And while I'm working with the colors of the watercolor, there's quite a lot on my paintbrush, so I tend just to splash it over the page, which creates the droplets, which I think look pretty good. This is optional, you don't have to do the droplets, but I quite like how it adds to the overall look of the page. And please bid this dark blue heating tool goodbye. This is where it died. But I've had it for over 15 years, so I think it's had a good run. I started with my lightest color first, the light turquoisey blue, and as I add the color, I go from lightest to darkest. I filmed this art journal page over 2 days, so I had time to go and get my brand new heating tool so I can dry my layers as I go. I'm going to add some of this gorgeous washi tape. This washi tape is available from the Washi Tape shop. I have a link in the description below because you can get a lovely discount if you use my link. It has a beautiful gold metallic, which I really like on that, and it's got the blues and turquoises that pick up from the colors that I've used. I'm not just going to stick this flat down, I'm actually ripping it up into pieces, so when I put it back together it's a little bit like a puzzle, and I think it adds a little bit of interest. It's not just strips of washi tape stuck down. I'm going to tone down the washi tape too, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to stencil some white acrylic paint through a stencil. I'm just going to dab it lightly over some of the washi tape. I still want the washi tape to shine through, but like I said, I want to tone it down. I'm also going to use some acrylic ink spray in white just to add a little bit more brightness of the white. You can see the stencil designs left behind. For my focal points for this piece, I'm going to be using these butterflies from Digital Collage Club. I have a link as well to them in the description below, and you can get a really good deal where you can get a membership for a year or a membership for a lifetime, and you have full access to all the printables for that time. And there is a lot of printables, and it's actually, I haven't even been through everything just yet. There's just so much. And as you can see, I've got these beautiful blue butterflies that match perfectly with my piece that I will use as the focal points. Also, in the description below where I'll put the links, there is a discount code if you use my link for the Digital Collage Club if you make a purchase. The words creative time are a cutout from a magazine. That was a lucky find. Once I'm happy with the placement of my wording and my focal point, I'm going to stick everything down. I'm just using a glue stick for this because the printout of the butterflies is on just normal copy paper. It's not too thick, so the glue stick will work well. And I'm going to put the 3 butterflies on the right hand side, sort of in line, and creative time will go on the left to balance out the whole look. I feel I need to make the focal points pop, so I'm going to add this gold. It's a beautiful metallic acrylic paint that I actually found at Big W here in Australia, and it's really metallic. It for an acrylic paint, I think it's actually fantastic. So I'm just going to use my small paintbrush and just add around the edging of the butterflies just to make them pop off the page a little bit and make them more the focal point. I'm using gold, so it picks up the gold from the washi tape that I used. You could also use black. You could use a black watercolor pencil, black acrylic paint, or even just using a grey lead. You could go around just to give it a bit of a shadow. Gold works, I think, for this piece because of the additional gold that I have. I'm using a gold acrylic marker to highlight some of the letters in the wording. I'm adding a little bit more gold on the edge of the page. I tried to water this down, but because of the way the acrylic is, I think when you water it down, it loses its metallic finish, so it doesn't have that bold metallic. You can see the way I mix it with water, it actually goes quite milky. So it didn't really have the effect I wanted, but that's okay. That's how we experiment and learn. But I did keep on adding just so that it's got the gold tone in, so that it contrasts and combines the pages together. I don't think I have quite enough gold, so I want to do a little bit of gold splatter. An additional thing I'm going to add is some shadow gold around the wording creative time. I think this will link it up with how I've done the butterflies and sort of join it onto the page. It feels a little bit sort of on its own and floating about. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed and that you were inspired. Please don't forget to subscribe and come back and see all my other videos. I will see you again soon. Bye.